Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is my review of Beyond the Boundary episode 8 entitled Calming Gold. Alright. Well, this week's episode of Beyond the Boundary. Gotta say, it just keeps getting good, alright? It just keeps being good. This episode was very interesting. I'll get into why in a little bit here. Alright, anyways though, Akihito receives a postcard from Yayoi warning them of the coming of the calm as the city starts feeling its effect. Ai and Ayaka explain that during the calm, all Yomu becomes severely weakened and warns that Akihito could potentially lose his immortality during that period. As the group later heads home, Miroku intercepts Mitsuki and explains that the mirrored phenomenon she witnessed was actually a fraction of a Yomu, part of a larger group of destructive Yomu known as Beyond the Boundary, which was referenced at the end of the last episode, basically. Miroku further explains that he was sent to investigate the Nase family's plans for these Yomu by the society and learned that Izumi had saved Mirai from being killed by the Inami clan following Yui's death. Overlooking the golden sunset by the shoreline, Hirumi then intervenes and attacks Miroku before the latter escapes. Elsewhere, Akihito awakens on the train home following a horrible flashback before Izumi puts him to sleep once more. Afterwards, Ayaka decides to watch over Akihito and at her shop as he starts feeling the calm's effect. Afterwards, the calm finally begins at midnight, and the spirit world warriors of the city, including Shizuku and Izumi, start slaughtering any and all Yomu in sight. Meanwhile, as Hirumi and Mitsuki try to understand the conflict between their clan and the society, they learn of Akihito's state and notice the reawakened Hollow Shadow, while Sakura manages to convince Mirai to return to Akihito's side. So, and I didn't mention this before, but I didn't quite like how Sakura was done in this series, because it's like, I mean, I said before that, yeah, I am kind of glad that they stopped her from being a villain when they did, instead of dragging it out, but that's only because I didn't really like how they attempted to do her character as a villain in the first place. So I figured, you might as well end it rather than just extending a bad thing, It's not like it's not like that her character's bad. It's that her original role, I felt, was done badly. All right. Yeah. At the same time, Ayaka intercepts Miroku outside her shop, following his intention to capture Akihito for the society, and attacks him in her Yomu form. However, before Ayaka becomes overpowered, Izumi intervenes and stops Miroku's attack. Finally, as Mirai hurries back to the shop, Akihito's Yomu half awakens. Yeah, so a lot covered in this episode, and a lot of epic shit. Yeah, I can't really think of any major flaws with this episode, but I will say some of my favorite things about it. I like the pacing in this episode because... Sorry about that. because they're able to cover a lot of shit in a short amount of time, and still make it seem like and still make it to where it didn't seem like it went by too fast, because everything got the needed amount of screen time and whatnot. And I do think it's kind of cheesy how they're shoehorning in the title into this or the English title rather of the anime into the series, though, Beyond the Boundary. But I do like the idea of the calm. That was one of my favorite things. Probably my favorite thing about the episode. Made it really interesting how all Yomu, including Akihito himself being half Yomu, could basically be weakened, with Akihito himself losing his immortality and apparently transforming. That's really the only complaint I can see, is that his transformation, I felt, was kind of sudden, because it didn't explain before that he could transform. It said he could lose his immortality, but not really transform. So if I had to come up with a complaint, that's really the only one, not too consistent, I don't think. His transformation was kind of sudden. You don't know why he's starting to transform. But other than that, I really enjoyed this episode. Alright, so yeah, but anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.